Meanwhile, here at Centennial, students shocked about what happened, that one of their classmates could be charged with such a serious offense. One girl that we spoke with knew Anthony pretty well, that she says, and told us this.
I'm in shock because it's like, I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but to take someone's life is just like a different level.
Yeah, I only know of him fighting. I don't know about killing people. I never heard of him doing that before. But to actually go and do that, that's just too far. Like, look how desensitized these kids are.
In 2014, Arnie Duncan, who was Obama's Department of Education secretary, issued a memo to all schools saying that they wanted to cut down on what the Obama administration called the school to prison pipeline, which they suggested was that and if you look at the data from the Department of Education, it's true that more children of color and children with learning disabilities receive more detentions and expulsions and suspensions. That these kids who are always in trouble or are always sort of facing, detentions or some sort of discipline.
I don't know, just my sneaky suspicion. Maybe it's because there were never any consequences to these kids acting up and disrupting the entire classroom. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, that might have been the cause.
They wanted to cut down on that. And underlying this is the suggestion that teachers that dole out these punishments are racist, and that the unevenness that you would see in this data was because of racism.
God forbid that we actually tell the truth and say it's not racist to demand that you act civilized in a classroom. That is not racist. It is not racist to require students to not disrupt the classroom. It is not racist to require students, to not commit felony assaults on teachers or other students. How about this? Let's not bring shanks to school. Asking children to maybe not bring shanks and guns to school, I don't know. That's not racist. That might just be being civilized. The story of what Karmelo Anthony did to Austin Metcalf, it's not just an isolated story. What it points to is something bigger, something deeper. It's about a system that likes to bury red flags under the guise of restorative justice. And that's what we're talking about today on the Kesha King Show. What's up, everybody? I'm Kesha King. Welcome to the Kesha King Show. Go ahead and smash that like button, share this video out, and if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I want to say welcome to and welcome back to the Kesha King Show. I see this is so exciting. The channel is growing. Welcome, welcome. I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about the content that I am producing. I look forward to seeing how we can light the world with truth. That's what we do over here on the Kesha King Show. We deal with the truth, no matter how harsh it is. And we like to go a bit deeper over here. If you want the surface stuff, you can certainly go and visit those channels. But on the Kesha King Show, I like to kind of get to roots of problems. I like to see how we can solve things. Let's look at the principles of the matter. Let's look at the truth. And so when you have truth, it shall make you free. So let's get into this. When schools stopped disciplining bad behavior and started trying to negotiate with it, it was another reminder of just how bad this public schooling system, or indoctrination camps, as I like to call them, it shows you just how bad they are. As you may know, Karmelo Anthony has been relocated under approval by the judge because of death threats. Now, I haven't really seen these death threats. I do know, though, that the Metcalf family has now been swatted not once, not twice, but 3 times. So if there is anybody who is being under attack still, it's the Metcalfs. I don't know what the Anthony family show. It was like Austin Metcalf's obituary and then some pizza deliveries. That's the only evidence that they've shown. So it looks like to me that those reports of them, renting a new house and getting a new car, it looks like it actually was true. It was probably rumblings of that because that's what they were planning on doing. I don't know. I'm just saying. And then we have this other boy in Dallas at the Wilmer Hutchinson School that just is terrorizing the school over there as well.
They say 17-year-old Tracy Haynes Jr., a Wilmer Hutchins student, spent 2 minutes inside.
What appears to be clear is that this was not random in terms of the intent.
But Haynes spent hours on the run. This man says he gave Haynes a ride.
I don't want any trouble. I thought I was just helping somebody out.
He didn't know Haynes was a school shooting suspect because police didn't say who they were looking for.
At the time, we did not feel that we needed to put out that information. Maybe it was slower, maybe it wasn't.
DISD says it's reviewing security before students return now next Wednesday. But the district says stopping future violence requires more than more security.
If we knew exactly how to solve this problem, we would solve it. It's going to take all of us.
In Dallas, I'm Cole Sullivan.
And oh my goodness, what was his excuse? Oh, I was in fear of my life. Oh, there were some gang members after me. I wonder if we look into his background, are we going to see a school that hid his mischievousness? Are we going to find a school that was burying what this Haynes boy was doing? I wouldn't be surprised if we did. School violence has been on the rise, but the reporting of it is decreasing. Now, why in the world would we want to decrease something as important as decrease the reporting of the school data, even though the violence is increasing? Now, we hear the left talk about all the time how important the babies are in issues that they want to promote, but we don't see their words matching with their actions. In San Antonio, Texas, those schools report indicate a significant increase in violent incidents. With the latest Texas Education Agency, TEA, student discipline data for the 2022-2023 school year showing more violent offense reports than in any of the 5 previous years. Educators attribute this trend to factors such as the pandemic's impact on students' social skills and mental health. While some districts have expanded counseling services and traditional disciplinary measures, others have invested in restorative approaches, which have faced criticism for being insufficient in addressing serious behavioral issues. This is not just in Texas. These restorative practices are everywhere. Let me expand on that. So in my city where I live, there was a report that came out. There was an indictment issued for the public school officer.
Duval County Schools blasted in a scathing new grand jury report. The panel accuses the district of underreporting crimes and gang activity going on in Jacksonville schools.
News4Jax IT reporter Kelly Wiley joining us live with a look at these allegations. Kelly?
Well, just within the last 30 minutes, the school district here in Duval County responded, saying first that this report covers a number of years, but they also added that they're now going to pursue their own review of what the grand jury report found in order to see if they need to make any other improvements to how they report crime inside of the schools. A statewide grand jury is taking aim at Florida school districts. It says some districts are underreporting crimes happening inside schools. the grand jurors taking particular issue with Duval County schools. In the 27-page report, jurors said in Duval County, the school administration directed its police chief, who in turn directed his officer via a PowerPoint, that state policy did not require the reporting of petty acts of misconduct and misdemeanors to law enforcement. It went on to say written directives considered extortion and stalking to not require reports. And also wrote Duval County schools appeared to underrepresent the level of gang activity after reporting that 6 of 30,000 incidents were gang-related. In response on Facebook, Jacksonville Fraternal Order of Police said they've been getting away with this stuff for too long and that the grand jury has not even touched the tip of the iceberg. But the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office did not comment on whether the administration agreed with the sentiment. The grand jury report said they'd seen overwhelming evidence over the past 11 months that the Rosie reports forwarded quarterly to the Florida Department of Education by local school districts are widely inaccurate, and that the problems appeared more common and more dangerous in districts with large student populations, appointed superintendents, and their own district police departments, with the chief who reports to the administration.
They didn't really quite give what was really going on. So for Fitz, just so you can get the full context here. The local news says, in fact, we found, this is News for Jax. In fact, we found of the 3,603 total fights across the entire district where 110 students were hurt, none went to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. They were all handled by the school district police. For physical attacks, that's where a student is attacked without fighting back. Duval County reported 6,017 in the 2014-2015 school year. The list of incidents goes on. There were 11,537 total incidents in Duval County in the 2014-15 school year. Of those, we found 870 were reported to outside law enforcement. That's equal to 7.5%. Here are some of the others the I-team found, all primarily handled within the district. This is the same type of handling that the Karmelo Anthony, this is what happened with this reported and then retracted information about this incident that happened in the school where he allegedly brought the knife and was suspended, or whatever happened to him. But this was handled internally here. 8 arsons, 88 batteries, 16 breaking and entering, 98 bullying incidents, 240 campus disruptions, 408 drugs incidents, 71 harassments, 121 larceny and theft, 9 robberies, 40 sex offenses, 54 sexual harassments, 53 threats, and 27 weapons. Now, does this sound safe to you? And again, I'm telling you that we supposedly live in a conservative city because we have a majority Republican city council. These types of things are being handled throughout the United States. It is not isolated. It's being sold to parents as restorative justice is this idea of, oh, instead of these punitive consequences where the person in power, the teacher or the principal, suspends the student, because that hurts their feelings. No, we're going to sit in circles and talk. Okay, this child just threw a desk across the room and we're going to sit in a circle time.
The reason we're here is because me and Mr. Thomas had an argument before. And so we're here to resolve that problem.
I'm sorry. I'm not arguing with children. I'm the teacher. This is what you're doing. Don't do it anymore. If you can't abide by those rules, bye-bye. All this restorative justice crap is nonsense.
Well, I asked for the circle so that I could find out why Jonathan sometimes interrupts lessons by talking to others or talking back to me when I try to get him back on task.
One of my reasons is the first day I got here, I was doing great. Well, then after time, I started meeting people, and my attitude changed a little because I started knowing people. So then I started getting mad with my situation between you and me because I know that was my fault too because I stopped doing homework, started talking back to you. But yeah, we're here to resolve that problem, and we're going to continue doing it.
Well, I'll say incidents that I see. I'll just show you some of the things. The going like this, and sometimes the students don't know whether you are trying to hit them or not, and I think they feel threatened when you do that. And then sometimes the way you look at me and others.
She know doggone well she feels threatened and the students feel threatened. The boy is out of control in the classroom. I'll put money on it. He's out of control in the classroom. All of this, like, well, I don't want to hurt his little feelings. That boy's feelings is not going to be hurt. He needs discipline.
The look is kind of like,
sinister.
I don't think it's respectful. And other kids say, why are you looking at me like that? So it's the gestures, the looks, and then talking out while I'm teaching. I just want to find out why you make comments sometimes that I don't understand.
This is a joke. This is a joke to these kids. Oh, let's sit in a circle and hold hands and sing kumbaya. Okay, and then you're going to have a chair upside the head. This is ridiculous. But this is how incidents are handled. Look at what he says. Watch.
Yeah, just to add to that, I really see Jonathan, I really see you as a leader in the class. A lot of the other kids really look up to you. And I feel like
yeah, lead them straight to hell. Leading them straight down the wrong path. Yeah, he'll lead all right.
I would like, before we finish, to kind of find out how I can help you move through a lesson without the distraction.
One thing that
this teacher is asking the student, how can I help you not be bad? How do I help you be civilized in class? How do I help you keep your mouth shut when I'm trying to teach the 20 other kids in here, probably more than that, who actually want to learn? How do I help you just not be, there's so many things I want to say, but I will not. How do I help you do that? I couldn't do it because I'm not playing these games with these kids. This is ridiculous. This is not how you get good outcomes from children. This is not it, especially ones who are defiant and rebellious.
you can do is, I don't know, like sometimes you overreact, I think, and like I know sometimes we like don't listen to you, do bad things, but sometimes you like kind of like bring the outside to the inside, and
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you mean when y'all are acting, when you've disrupted the class and you got all the other kids now disrupting with you, and I raise my voice, you think I'm overreacting? Oh, yeah, you ain't. Listen, let me tell you something. These kids would think I was slap crazy, okay? Because I couldn't put up with I couldn't do it. I'm not abiding by all of these nonsense rules. Restorative justice, sit in a circle as freaking pencils and bottles and chairs are flying at my head, and I'm going to sit in a community circle or whatever the heck this junk is. It's a war zone in some of these schools, in a lot of these schools, because of these Barack Obama practices. But this restorative justice is actually a critical component of Marxism. This social emotional learning, equity. Oh, the Black and brown kids are being sent to the principal's office more frequently than others. There's a disparity in the who's getting in trouble. I know. Let's stop reporting the incidents to outside law enforcement. So the data, it looks like things are working better because we're not reporting it. Meanwhile, the schools are crumbling and kids are unsafe. Under the guise of compassion and equity, restorative discipline practices fundamentally reject traditional concepts of justice, concepts rooted in accountability, personal responsibility, and objective standards. Instead, they replace them with a system where outcomes are engineered based on group identity and perceived oppression, and they engineer these results. How? By hiding the data from you, by not calling law enforcement when they need to. In practice, this means serious offenses are often downplayed, hidden, or excused to preserve the appearance of racial equity, even at the cost of student safety. It is not about restoration, it's about a revolution through destabilization of the moral order in public schooling. If you go to Nicholas Cruz, who was the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooter, if you go to look at Karmelo Anthony, if you go this Hayes boy in Dallas, the Covenant shooter, all of these kids had previous problems with law enforcement within the schools. They had previous disciplinary problems.
Centennial students shocked about what happened, that one of their classmates could be charged with such a serious offense. One girl that we spoke with knew Anthony pretty well, that she says, and told us this.
I'm in shock because it's like I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but to take someone's life is just like a different level.
And we mentioned that Metcalf was a football player at Memorial.
I do wonder if the school had reported the reported but then retracted knife incident on Karmelo Anthony, would the Metcalf family be here today? Just wondering, just asking questions. But how did these restorative justice practices come into being in Texas? Well, in 2012, under Barack Obama, Ed White Middle School in San Antonio Northeast ISD was the first school in Texas to pilot restorative justice in 2012. The initiative aimed to address high suspension rates and improve school climate through community building circles and open dialogue between students and teachers. Statewide rollout in 2015. In the fall of 2015, the Texas Education Agency, TEA, partnered with the Institute for Restorative Justice and Restorative Dialogue at the University of Texas at Austin School of Social Work to implement restorative dialogue practices across the state. A grant facilitated training for 10 of the 20 education service centers, focusing initially on regions with high suspension rates among African American males. The training included a 2-day administrator readiness session and a 5-day coordinator training. By fall of 2016, approximately 1,400 administrators and 400 coordinators had received training. The TEA and its partners continue to expand the program, providing resources and support to schools implementing RDP, and they're getting paid for it. So they're getting paid, all of these trainers and administrators. That's, when the property taxes keep going up and all this money keeps being dumped in public schooling, this is where it's going. It's going to these administrators. It's not going to into the actual classroom for books and things like that, and tablets and computers. That's what they sell you on. No, it's going for these useless consultants and trainers and administrators who want to help you form a circle to communicate better with criminals that are running around the schools. They have strategically indoctrinated children. So now these kids, they are learning how to provide excuses for their bad behavior. They're not learning accountability. They're not learning responsibility. When they sit in these stupid circles, they're learning to provide excuses for why they can't control themselves, excuses for, their bad behavior. And it needs to stop before people continue to be hurt. And teachers, they pushed back against this. People are not happy with this, but the communists, the Marxists, they don't care. They're going to continue to push these lies until parents start responding with truth.
The number of school employees being assaulted on the job is rising in Texas. More than 2,600 assaults on educators were reported last school year. That's according to new data from the Texas Education Agency. Investigator Kelly Wiley is digging deeper into the data and tracking what happens after teachers are hurt in the classroom.
New data from the Texas Education Agency shows the number of assaults perpetrated by students against school staff statewide rose 18% last school year compared to the year before.
It's definitely increased, probably for several factors.
Zeph Capo is the president of the Texas chapter of the American Federation of Teachers, an organization representing more than 65,000 educators.
The lack of behavioral supports, the lack of mental health services that we've seen in the state of Texas, none of our mental health providers, whether it's counselors, social workers, psychologists, meet the recommended student to professional ratios in the state of Texas.
Under Texas law, teachers who are assaulted at school can request what's called assault leave, paid days to recover from physical injuries that can't be deducted from the employee's personal accrued leave. The law says districts must immediately approve assault leave once it's requested.
I'm sorry. You want these people to stay in these professions where they literally have to basically, you have the same risk as being like a cop. Like, I want to be a teacher, but my risk is like the same as being like a SWAT team member. No, thank you. No. You're asking a bit much for them to, you got assault leave? That's actually a thing. If you have to have assault leave, that's probably a good idea that whatever disciplinary measure that you've been taking, it ain't working. Okay? It's not working when your teachers have to have specific assault leave. Y'all tripping. What I am telling you is that these schools are rogue prison yards. They are, anything goes in these schools. If we keep doing this restorative justice bullcrap, we're going to have more loss of life. That's all I have on this. Let me know what you think about what I think in the comment section below. I look forward to reading your comments and what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.